6 years ago, I was in an accident. I was walking home from college one day and it was raining heavily in typical Bombay style. And I saw somebody across the road selling bhutta, and I thought I would take a picture of it and put it up on Facebook and hopefully get 100 likes on it. But unfortunately, my dream was rudely cut short when a branch of a tree fell on me. This wasn't enough drama because I also passed out, woke up in a stark white hospital room a while later, surrounded by puzzled doctors and sitting in a pool of my own blood. You see, my right leg, this one, had been completely crushed, shattered, pulverized, mutilated, annihilated, use whatever adjectives you want, but basically I had to get it amputated. And this happened. For the first 18 years of my life, I was considered normal, maybe slightly loud for my size, but mostly normal. And suddenly now I was disabled. And didn't matter how much I kind of denied it to other people, whenever I brought it up with a new person, I couldn't help but wince when they burst out into, what did you do to deserve becoming handicapped? And all my protests of, I'm not handicapped, were completely drowned out by, such a poor thing. Over the years, I've collected a variety of responses in a variety of spheres just by virtue of the fact that I'm now disabled. So what I'm going to be doing is spending the next few minutes telling you a little bit about these reactions and hopefully giving you a little advice on what you can say the next time you meet somebody who is disabled. So rule number 1, which I scrolled to a little early, is that we're not inspiring. The first thing that people have got to stop doing when they find out that somebody is disabled is calling them brave or inspiring. Come on, you don't know what anybody around you has gone through, whether they're disabled or not. And while there's no question that disability is something that is hard to live with every day, it's not at all justified for a complete stranger to come up to you and say, "You're so brave, man, like I would never be able to do that." Of course you would. Everybody has to do it. And you know, when you have my permission to call me inspiring, the day when all my interns show up to work on time, on that day I'll just be like, yeah, bring it, I'm inspiring. The second rule is that you should patronize restaurants and not people. So if I'm out in public and I'm holding my boyfriend's hand, a bunch of people will start protesting, saying, oh, you know, Indian culture is being flushed down the toilet and all of that. But then they find out I'm disabled and they're like, oh, then it's okay. Arey, go protest. Like, I'm holding my boyfriend's hand only for PDA, not because I need his help to walk. Similarly, I know I might look half my age, but don't be so excited just because I managed to climb a couple of steps, or be so surprised just because I tell you I use public transport every day. It's not your business to tell me to hold your hand or to suggest that I should take a cab instead, because those kind of things are just really patronizing. Rule number 3 is don't be an agony auntie. So if you're the kind of person who tells your friends or kids or siblings, "Ja Simran, ja, ji le apni zindagi," then don't come and tell me, why do you have to go to a college that's so far away? Why can't you, look for something that's closer to your house? I travel far away to a college for a good education that I have studied hard for, and I'm going there. And I know it's a BA, which many of you think is code word for getting drunk at 11 AM, but I want to do it anyway. Similarly, a lot of disabled people are advised by others to look for job opportunities that are work from home. See, disabled people love their beds just as much as anybody else. If they're choosing to get out of bed and go to some other place to work, it's their choice, not yours. Reducing the scope of spaces in which disabled people can work or live their lives may boost your ego in a way that I don't understand at all, but it reduces our interaction with the everyday world. It lowers our self-confidence and it increases societal bias and myths about disability. Rule number 4, date, don't rate. So if you thought all these reactions were bad, you should see what it's like to date as a disabled person. So potential lovers will ask you questions like, it's just 1 foot, right? The rest is there, no? Or do you keep your leg on during, Or can you show me exactly till where your leg is? No. All these kind of questions make me feel like I'm a car in a second-hand showroom. You know, how many kilometers has she done? She looks slightly defective, but okay, it'll pass, that kind of thing. So please spare me. And obviously, because we live in India, who we date is obviously my mom's, brothers, mother-in-laws, nieces, dog's business. So other people end up having more opinions about my love life than I do. So I get reactions like, oh, you'll find it very tough to get married, beta. Or, you have a boyfriend, he's also an amputee or what? Or, yeah. Or, does your boyfriend know that you're an amputee? Look, trust me, my boyfriend has seen a lot more of my body than just my prosthetic leg. So he knows. He knows. Just like you shouldn't with anybody else, it's not really nice to keep telling disabled people that they're not attractive, or that their disability is something that they have to be ashamed of, or that it's going to hamper their prospects, or that people wouldn't want to introduce them to their parents and all that nonsense. The fact is that of course, you don't have to be in a relationship to be happy, but constantly to be constantly told that you're unattractive can really take its toll on a person. So personally, for many years, I had really low self-esteem. I never got into any serious romantic relationship because of these kind of responses. And when I was writing my speech, I was looking up some stats, and I realized that disabled women tend to be in abusive relationships twice as often as non-disabled women. And that's often because they are told and genuinely believe that they can't do better. And comments like what I've described, though they may seem pretty harmless, are at the root of this kind of ableist and abusive culture. Rule number 5. Keep petitioning for the government to ban small talk. So, I've said this once, and I've said this, and I'll say it again. I keep feeling like small talk is this tool developed by nosy aunties and uncles just as a provocation test to see how much stupid stuff they can say or ask before you start like prancing around the room like a monkey tripping on acid. So, no, seriously, small talk is the worst. So after the usual questions like, you know, how's your job, how's your family, the next question I usually get asked is, how's your leg? So my favorite thing to do at this point of time is look at my non-prosthetic leg and be like, it's in serious need of shaving. I really need to cut my toenails. These mosquito bites are so annoying. And I just keep going on in this vein until people are forced to either give up or admit that the only thing that they were asking about was my fake leg. Rule number 6. I'm the same person that I was 4 minutes ago. So, because my disability specifically is not a very visible one, because I usually wear jeans and sneakers, a lot of my friends and colleagues have not immediately realized that I am an amputee, and you know, they found out a little late into my relationship with them. And you know, when earlier they would have, you know, run down steps with me, been boisterous, generally, you know, been normal with me, suddenly they'll be like, oh, you want to take the escalator? Of course, how silly of me. And I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like toning my thighs, man. Like, just as much as you. I'm just lazy. Relax. I can take steps. It's really frustrating when you know, the same people have treated you one way and then suddenly they're treating you a different way because they found out something about you, and that makes it really difficult for anybody to have like a normal relationship, because it's always like in my mind like, okay, like 2 minutes ago they were saying this and now suddenly they like want to hold my hand or whatever. So you know, if you ever offer help to a disabled person, I'll say this, and they turn it down, don't ask them again and again. And if they do take it up because they do need your help for physical support, you don't need to fuss over them. If they have asked you and you're a complete stranger for your help, it's taken a lot of swallowing of pride. They have kind of anticipated this reaction from you. And if you make a very big deal out of it, then chances are the next time they need help, they might not really ask for it in time. Rule number 7. This is, I should probably end on the note that not all reactions that I've got to my prosthetic leg have been bad. One of my friends, for example, has created 3 prototypes of prosthetic legs on paper for me. One of them has a coffee maker. One of them is an electricity generator, and the third one has a bunch of storage space. So I can like stick in a toothbrush somewhere, like, you know, it's the works. So she has these like dreams of one day, you know, collaborating with somebody and actually making these prosthetic legs and gifting them to me on some landmark birthday, I guess. Another friend of mine, the day after I had my accident and I was in hospital and I'm kind of surrounded by these doctors and worried relatives, she comes and like whispers into my ear, "Now you'll get 50% off on pedicures, yeah!" And yet another friend of mine and I have seriously discussed using my leg as a weapon against shady guys who try to hit on me. So it's made of titanium, so it could do some serious damage. What I'm trying to say is that it doesn't have to be something that's sad. My leg has been a great source of entertainment in my life. I probably wouldn't be standing here in front of all of you if I didn't have it. So it's okay. I know that like when you meet somebody who's a little different from you, things can get a little awkward. You might end up saying something that you don't want to say or that sounded better in your head. And as somebody who keeps speaking without filtering what I'm saying, I know what it feels like. But just remember some rules. Firstly, if silence is golden, then pity is aluminum foil. It has no place in your relationship with anybody. The second thing is different people have different disabilities. Now, I have listed out 7 rules which apply to me or which I personally feel that you should keep in mind, but I am nobody to say that you know, they apply to every kind of disabled person. So gauge the situation with each person you meet rather than just regarding me as your messiah. Although if you want me to join your cult, just let me know to the talk. Lastly, I think just if you want to joke about someone's disability, in most cases it actually is fine. But the first thing that you should avoid with that is doing behind their back, because then it's mockery, it's not a joke. And if you do it to their face, you should make sure that they are comfortable with it, that they joke about it themselves, that it's still not like a sore spot with them, and then go ahead and do it. So to wind up, if you do have to treat me differently than you treat everybody else, let it be because I've said something that's changed your life, or because I've wasted the last 15 minutes of your life. You have my full permission to throw chappals at me when we're outside. Thank you.